I should probably silence my phone. Where's my phone?
Yeah, please do too. It's 6:16.
What time is that?
6:15.
I don't know.
We'll be back in there. Ryan's leaving. Guess we're not ready. He's coming back and we're ready. Okay, it's because he couldn't find his girlfriend wasn't here. She's here now, so we can start. And your bestie. Oh, Andrew's here, guys.
Shabbat Shalom. We begin in song on page 10 as we sing the words from Psalm 133. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How great, how wonderful, how good it is to be together this evening. Page 10 at the top of the page. It truly is good to be together as we come together this evening at Temple Mount Sinai to celebrate Shabbat in this season of our observance of Shavuot as well, the festival holiday which according to rabbinic tradition is the anniversary of the giving of the Torah. We come together this evening with our confirmation students to celebrate them and their journey through Jewish life so far as we wish them well on their journey forward too. In celebration of Shabbat, we turn now to pages 2 and 3. We welcome the confirmands forward to light Shabbat candles. They'll read from page 3 together as well. If you are able to rise, please do. Read it first. Go ahead.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
May the glow of these candles bring peace to the world, and the spirit of Shekinah surround us. May the blessings of our days fill our hearts with love, and Shabbat Shalom be here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Le'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Please be seated.
Page 6.
You can go that way. Let's say it again. Into the microphone.
Page 6. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love and all who are lonely for friendship. May it be welcome, all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express hopes to nature. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enemy. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfish, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
We'll sing together Lachadodi as we welcome Shabbat with verses 1, 2, 5, and then rise to face the entrance to welcome the Sabbath bride with verse 9.
Le'hadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Le'hadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Le'hadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Le'hadodi likrat kala,
Just as we've welcomed Shabbat in, we welcome one another and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. I invite you to take a moment to turn to the people around you, to greet them, introduce yourself, and wish one another a Shabbat Shalom. Once you've had a chance to say Shabbat Shalom to at least a couple of people, I invite you to be seated. Please be seated. As we turn to page 22, we continue with a special psalm, Psalm 92. It's a special psalm for the observance of Shabbat. Page 22.
Am turn to page 27. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. Please stand for the Barahu.
Please turn to page 29. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nemerech, let us bless. Please turn to page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Arabi.
I'd like to welcome religious school students who are here to come forward to join with us in the Shema. Shema can be found on page 34 and 35. We'd like to welcome you forward, if you're willing. Leila?
We got it.
Be seated as we continue chanting together. And Yesher Koach.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובחומותיך, והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אלוהים מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לתותבות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ולישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that whatever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
We join together in song, singing the words our ancestors sang as they went forth from Egypt and experienced that first moment of freedom. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, page 40.
Please turn to page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. that we may lay down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporos sukkot shalom aleinu ve'al amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
We turn to page 46 as we rise for the Amidah.
You may be seated. Turn to page 55. I'm supposed to stand up. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to enjoy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle to find rest on this day, may all who suffer to find solace, may all who hurt find healing on this day, may all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all of these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shemcha u'ha-na'em. We give a moment for silence.
On page 60, we continue with the song, A Prayer for Peace, Shalom Rav. Page 60.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasih Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasih Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon Levon HaShalom, Ki atahu melech adon, Levon HaShalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasih Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasih Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasih Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasih Leolam. Tasih Leolam. Tasih
It is at this point in our service when we turn our prayers specifically to those in need of healing. When we think of those in need of healing of mind, body, or spirit, healing of any kind. We will offer these names on behalf of the community, those that are known to the community in recent days in need of healing. And then as I look around the chapel, I invite you to add to them, sharing the names of those that you are praying for. We think of Lori Knipp, Lainey Beth Law, and Annette Stone. To those names we add.
Judy Abbott, Stephanie Carter.
Kyle Scherer. Joanne Sowney. Lauren Roberts, Earl Richard. Jerry Sullivan. Sarah Ann Hundes.
Adele Seaman, Marlene Reynolds.
Moshe Ledebauer, Kendra Judith Aladia, and Dennis Andrews.
Jim Dolan.
Sophie.
John Howe, Melissa O'Rourke.
Anthony Isaacs.
Tracy Cooler.
We join together with words which are similar to the words which can be found in the middle of page 253, a prayer for healing.
Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
Bless us with the power of the redeeming.
Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love.
Bless us with the vision for tomorrow.
Help us to reach out to those in pain.
May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi sheberach avotenu, mi sheberach imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
And so it is with joy and pride that I present to you Stuart Schwartz, Temple President, to the members of Temple Mount Sinai's Board of Trustees, to the members of our congregation, to our community, to the Jewish people and people around the world, the confirmation class of 2023, 5783. Dara Leffman, Tess Mansfield, Ryan Miner. Through their actions over the past 4 years and through their leadership in this evening's service, Dara, Tess, and Ryan express their commitment in word and in deed to the Jewish people and the Jewish faith. And we welcome them now as they each in turn reflect on their journey and what brings them to celebrate this sacred moment with us. First Dara, then Tess, then Ryan.
Hello, so my name is Dara Leffman, and I have been a Temple Mount Sinai member for the past 18 years. I have spent several hours attending services and in the Floyd S. Bierman Religious School classrooms. While preparing for my bat mitzvah, I struggled to connect to my Jewish identity. For many, studying the Torah is a gratifying experience. However, my experience was painful, and I was reluctant to finish. After I finished my bat mitzvah, I put my Jewish identity behind me until Rabbi Zeidman asked me to join and be a madrachim. For the past 4 years, I have been working to understand my views on Judaism and how I live through the words of the Torah. This year especially, with several trips related to Judaism and time spent with Rabbi and other people my age. During December, 12 teens, 2 rabbis loaded up on a plane and flew to Israel. It would be a 14-day-long trip with little downtime for the rabbis. I was gifted a very special tour of the Israeli Health Clinic on my first day. However, after I recovered, the trip was filled with beautiful experiences that connected me to my view of Judaism. I'm always asked what my favorite part of the trip was, and I have difficulty choosing. But nothing was as magical as the Western Wall on Shabbat. Thousands of Jews in union with songs and prayer was awe-inspiring. However, the connections between the youth on the trip made me feel genuinely related to my Jewish identity. Spending time making jokes, telling stories, and even yelling at Zach reminded me how much I love being Jewish. I continuously craved more Jewish connections. After we got home from Israel, the opportunity to go to a nifty West Coast party was presented, and I immediately jumped and booked my plane ticket. I spent the weekend with California Jews, hiking, playing Nine Square, and creating a deeper connection with my Jewish identity. I never knew how happy I would be to hear the word mensch used in a sentence. The last trip with the Jewish youth was to Washington, D.C. This trip brought the most joy and fondness. A majority of the trip was spent listening to Ryan scream. Laugh, and then scream some more to the song, I Have a Voice, My Voice is Powerful, My Voice Can Change the World. We learned about Congress and how not to find a nice Jewish girl. Leaving D.C., my bond to Judaism was more vital than ever. The song I Have a Voice clarified my view of Judaism. I used to think that when something was told, that's the way it was. Yet, Rabbi reminded me that the true view of Judaism is accepting it in your heart. My Jewish voice is living through Tikkun Olam, repairing the world through acts of loving kindness. The more time I spent with my fellow peers, the more I felt connected to Judaism and my identity with Judaism. Being Jewish is not a journey you can achieve alone, but one that is sweeter with friends. As it is of religion. When shared with others, you will have a more rewarding experience. After singing the same prayers every Sunday, I have found my favorites and one that best reflects my time spent here at Temple. Hine Ma Tov. How good and pleasant it is that brothers and sisters dwell together. I am so grateful to be part of this community and congregates who are so welcoming and kind. Rabbi has taught me not to live Judaism by the book, but accept and live it with how you need. I plan to continue learning about Judaism and further connecting to my Jewish identity, always knowing that there will be a community to accept me. Thank you, guys.
Good evening. Thank you so much for attending our confirmation. I am Tess Mansfield, and I would like to talk a bit, about my journey with Judaism. Over the past few years, my Jewish identity has been most deeply impacted by three things: the Zion trip to Israel, oh my gosh, I need to stop doing that. My experience as a madraha, and being Misty co-president, all of which have deeply changed the way I view being Jewish. The exercises that I sometimes viewed as tedious homework from the Zion program often resulted in meaningful connections to my own ideas of Judaism. One assignment in particular dealt with the so-called pillars of Judaism, as defined by Giddy Grinstein. Her ideas gave me insight into the fact that, to me, Judaism is peoplehood, one of Grinstein's pillars. The religion and culture that exists between the Jewish people is one that has survived eons of diaspora and persecution that creates peoplehood, a bond between each Jew I myself encounter. The awareness that such a key characteristic to who I am has survived against all odds and created such a unique sense of community gives credit to my belief that being Jewish is not something I should take lightly. As for my own experience, once my friend noted that I am obsessed with being Jewish. She did not mean to upset or offend me, but just observed the way that I felt about my religion was not something she had encountered. Still, I felt ashamed of this. Obsessed seemed to have negative connotations. However, the need to share this part of my identity does feel sort of compulsory to me. Like people who don't know this omit a crucial part of who I am. So I guess in a way, I am obsessed with being Jewish. I now choose to take this comment in stride. I am obsessed with the peoplehood created by this religion. I am obsessed with the survival of people at odds with the rest of the world. I'm obsessed with the idea that there is not only a shared ancestry, but a mutual understanding between Jews. I'm obsessed with the Jewish global community and the benefits that being a part of this local community has bestowed upon me. It is thanks to the Temple Mount Sinai community, that Judaism has been a part of my identity for so long. My role as Misty co-president in this community has taught me the logistics of being Jewish in a modern world. Perhaps most importantly, that unless you actively make time for Judaism, it may slip out of your life. I know I have missed many opportunities and events, and for this, I apologize to our community. When I officially joined the board, tensions were high. We were coming out of the pandemic, and I often left board meetings feeling upset and helpless. Unfortunately, rather than recognize that this was an important part of being active in our community, I chose to step away from it all. I allowed myself to put my position on the back burner and get swept up in the so-called high school experience. It took me some time to learn the error in this judgment, but ultimately, I recognized this failing. I now know that the hardship is necessary for real discussion. Recently, I have worked to take a more active role, and although at times I have felt the frustration I was once met with, I also have been able to recognize the value of the voice I've been given. This experience was a valuable lesson for me in Judaism. The struggle to assume my own role taught me that, again, unless I actively take responsibility for my commitment to a community, my part in it will cease to exist. I must make time for Judaism if I want to continue to enjoy the benefits of a shared culture. This religion has forced me to be a leader in one other way, as a madricha. Being a madricha, it was something I had always aspired to, likely because of the way I myself viewed the cool high schoolers in the blue polos. I now know that I overestimated the power of the colored polo. This shirt did not give me the immediate insight and knowledge that I thought it would, and the past few years as a madricha have held their own unique challenges. However, these challenges have forced me to grow, not only in Judaism, but as a person. Being a role model for so many scrutinizing eyes has forced me to recognize the ways in which I can become a better person. I've worked to navigate the delicate line between comforting and further upsetting a child, trying to be just the right amount of firm to avoid chaos while still remaining kind, and being present but not overbearing. I must say, this has not been easy. Who could have imagined controlling 10 9-year-old boys would be hard? Regardless, the value of working to become a balance of seemingly everything has taught me so much about the importance of how I interact with everyone, not just those who are younger than me. This continued analysis of how I treat others has been invaluable in further developing my people skills. I have been given the role of a teacher, and yet I myself continue to learn. I have often found this to be the nature of Judaism. I try to help my community, but I myself end up benefiting. This is what I find to be the most important part about Judaism. My involvement has not forced particular customs or swarmed me with religious text, but instead encouraged my growth as a person. I cannot cite much of the Torah offhand, but I can recognize when a little kindness would go a long way. The emphasis on who I am and what I can become is what makes Judaism so special to me. Questioning and using the principles set by our ancestors as a guide rather than an absolute is incredibly meaningful to me. Being Jewish has meant working to lead a lifestyle rooted in Jewish values, often without even realizing that I am. I want to heal the world and make it a better place, but I often do so without specifying Tikkun Olam as my purpose. This unique relationship between taught values and learning by living is why I love being Jewish. To me, confirming my identity as a Jew is a promise to continue to grow as a person, guided by these values. I cannot possibly put into words what the community here has meant to me. Thank you so much to everyone here. Thank you to Rabbi for guiding us on this journey. Thank you to my family, my siblings, and our entire community, my friends here to support me. And thank you so much to Darren, Ryan, and congratulations. I'm so lucky to have grown up with you.
Hello, my name is Ryan. So what does it mean to be Jewish? Many may say it's just being religious, but I see it as something more. When I think of my Judaism, I think of the community that I am a part of. This being the Madrich program, as well as the youth group Nifty. Madrich, what does the word mean? The direct translation from Hebrew means a youth counselor or supervisor. I believe the better translation is a role model for the younger generations. For almost every Sunday over the past 4 years, I've been a role model for the younger Jewish generations as the older generations once did for me. I remember when I was growing up, I would go to Sunday school bright and early to see one of my Madrichim named Reese. He was always the nicest person I had ever met. I looked up to him almost like he was an older brother. Now today, I am in the same role he was. I get to teach the younger generations to give respect and bring joy to those around them. Soon this cycle will repeat, and my students will be the role models for the next generation. The other thing I look at when it comes to my Judaism is my youth group, Nifty. At first, when hearing about Nifty from my older sister, I was a little skeptical. I was unsure if I'd fit in with the people at the events. But I took the risk and went to my first youth group event. The second I walked off the bus, I was greeted by my new friends, which I would hold on for years to come. The fear to not find a group of friends was instantly relieved as everyone was welcoming to everyone, with no one left behind in the dust. More recently, my youth group, we went to Israel, in a large part thanks to the Jewish Foundation as well as other donations. Here my friends and I, from the past 14 years, being Dara, Tess, and others, enjoyed a long trip where we all bonded over our Judaism, as well as funny jokes such as our obsession with Shokaim, which translates to calves, like calves. Experience like this, supported by our Jewish community, made learning about my Judaism fun and for a bonding experience with others in the Jewish community. Overall, my Judaism can be directly associated to the great Jewish community. This Jewish community was here for me growing up and has growing up in the form of my Madrahim, as well as has led me to want to be a role model for others. As well as this, my Jewish community has been there to help me shape my youth group, where I had made friends that I will hold for a lifetime. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you to Rabbi for his patience, as well as I'd like to say thank you to Mom, Dad, Bubby, and Zadie, as well as my sister, Riley. Lastly, I'd like to say thank you to Dara and Tess. Well, not lastly. And then lastly, the Jewish community. I'll always keep you two in my heart as we've been friends for the past 14 years. And even though we're all leaving from across the country, I know we're going to stay in touch. Thank you.
I'll just note, they don't clap for me when I talk. I meant to point out how beautiful your remarks were, and I hope that you hear your own remarks and live them. In honor of you, in celebration of your confirmation and your choice to confirm yourself publicly, your identity in the Jewish community, I invite everyone to please rise as we open the Ark, as you state a prayer in the direction of the Torah. So I'll invite you to face the Ark.
We have aspired and labored and achieved. Our hearts are filled with joy, for we say, God, give us hills to climb and strength to climb them. Today our prayer has been granted. Adonai, you have given us the strength of will to achieve. But today, O God, give us one thing more, a grateful heart. Give us a wise and constant spirit, one aware of our debt to others for what we have achieved. You are the strength of our hands, O God, and the light of our lives. All that we are and all that we may yet be, we owe to the creative power that you have implanted within us. Even as we exult in the success of our labors, so may we aim to be kind in thought, gentle in word, and generous in deed, that others may have cause to rejoice in our accomplishments. Give us a grateful heart and a loving disposition, that we may be your messengers, a blessing to all of our people. In their pain, let us sorrow. In their joy, let us rejoice. Let us not be impervious to their troubles. Thus we will be giving thanks to the blessings that have come to us. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, for enabling us to reach this moment.
I invite you to turn and face your congregation community as we all join together in a prayer on your behalf and in celebration of you, which can be found in the pamphlet on page 7. I'll give you a moment to find that. In the pamphlet on page 7, we read together this blessing for our confirmation students. Dear God,
we pray that the next stage of study for our students will be marked by continued meaning and growth. As Abraham and Sarah had the unique distinction as you embrace the sacred responsibilities of an adult in our community. May you always know the support of loving family and wise teachers. May you, like so many in our tradition before us, ask questions, seek out answers, and come to further develop a Jewish identity that will be your own.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. We praise you, eternal our God,
sovereign of the universe, who houses us with commandments and commands all of us to engage in the study of Torah.
And Tess, Ryan, Dara, I invite you to turn one more time that Mindy and I might offer our people's oldest blessing upon you, the priestly benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yasa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you feel the presence of holiness, of sanctity and sacredness, of blessing in your life, and may you know a lifetime of peace. Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. Confirmation at Temple Mount Sinai typically falls on the Friday evening closest to Shavuot, as long as it makes sense in the course of the school calendar year, the school calendar for the year. Shavuot, as I mentioned earlier, is an observance, a festival which the rabbis made note was the anniversary of the giving of Torah, Zman Matan Torah, a holy day celebrating the giving, the gift of Torah. And there's a commentary, there's a footnote in our prayer book that makes note of the fact that it's the celebration of the giving of the Torah, not the celebration of the receiving of the Torah, because we are, in fact, still receiving it and always will be. Hopefully you, confirmation students, Dara, Tess, Ryan, have reached the point where you begin to understand what that means. That responsibility and the joy, the challenge, the complexity. The idea that when we say it is a tree of life to all who hold fast to it, that means that the struggle, the wrestling, it brings us life. It brings us to new heights. It elevates the little moments and it magnifies the big ones. We pray that you never settle. May you never take your Judaism, may you never take this Torah that you carry with you for granted. May Torah, your Jewish heritage, the ideas and thoughts, the lives of generations before yours, be something that you carry with you and that you pass on to the next generation in a multitude of ways. It is yours to ensure that it brings blessing and meaning into the world and into your lives. Looking at you, I think we all know that the future of the Jewish people is in good hands. At this time in our service, we traditionally lift a cup of wine or juice to celebrate Shabbat, the symbol of joy and sweetness in the grape. This evening, we also celebrate this sacred moment of confirmation. And we celebrate our people, all that we have to celebrate in the past and all that we have to look forward to as well. I invite your fellow Madrachim who are here with you to join us on the Bima, as together we all rise and turn to page 5. Please rise if you are able for Kiddush. So,
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei
Kihuyon Tehillah, Lemikra Kodesh, Zever Litziat, Mitzrayim, Kivanu Vahata, Yatanu Kidashta, Mikol Hamim, Vesharat Kol Shema, Ve'ahava Uratzon, Himchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Hashabbat.
L'chaim. As they find their way through this, I invite you to remain standing. And you can, when you're ready, you can put the cups down. It's okay.
Sorry.
We remain standing as we turn to page 282 and invite Dara, Tess, and Ryan forward to lead us in Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 282 in the prayer book.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה לעושה בראשית, שלא עשנו כלי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
You may be seated as we turn to page 288. Page 288.
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street behind you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me.
I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind.
You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So, when all that's left of me is love, give me away.
Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. If I mention the name of a loved one you're remembering this Shabbos, I invite you to rise. We mourn the recent death of Francis Paquita Litt, Alan Nelkin, Rachel Kane. This anniversary week of their passing, we observe yahrzeit for Norma Brody Aronson, Arnold Aronson, Neil Axelrod, Dorothy Bonner, Erwin Bremen, Sarah Golden Brickman, Ruth Gray Brunoff, Lawrence S. Kalisher, Gabriella Salini, Roz Tchaikovsky, Manly B. Cohen, Dora Strauss Cohen, Elmo Curry, Tina DeYoung, Doris Eisenberg, Abraham Ettinger, Meyer Mack Fagelman, Cora Allman Fatman, Samuel Feld, Norman Friedberg, Sidney Benjamin Gasser, Irma Glass, Ignacio Gonzalez, Isaac Halkin, Johnny Hammonds, Arnold Hoffman, Irving Israel Kallman, Julius Cantor, Julius M. Krakauer, Wilfred Bill Lakehomer, Errol B. Lepowski, Bernard Lauterbach, Nanette Esther Leeser, Jerome Levy, Ruth Jane Strelitz-Majeski, Ruth Ellen Marcus, Al Marcus, John Martinez, Elizabeth V. Mayer, Rita McCoy, Harold Nitzberg, Lowell Nussbaum, Arthur Oppenheimer, Miriam Phillips, Alan Piddle, Leah Miriam Pouchette, Helen Etta Leeser Raphael, Rachel Roskob, Samuel Riedman, Arnold Rothschild, Shirley Schechter, Clara Schliffstein, Stanley Stein, Thomas Suller, Harry C. Talpis, Robert Simon Treef. Are there any names to add?
Eileen Heimlich. Larry Tully.
We remember them and all of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them as we stand together as one communal family for Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yit gadol v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach urutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam l'amei al-mayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudusha b'richu, le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata, tushpechata v'nechemata, dameran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Imru, Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be and forever remain a blessing, as together we say, Amen. You may be seated. Welcome Temple President Stuart Schwartz forward to offer announcements.
Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. It's wonderful having everybody here for this very special occasion with our confirmands. Wonderful service. We very much appreciate this, and I'll have more to say about you all in a minute. But let me say thank you first to Wendy Axelrod, and who are greeting us, and Erling Gordon, our future president, who is currently on the board, for joining us on the Bima. And of course to Rabbi and the entire group, the Shir Hadash, Mindy. I'd like to thank Stephen Jackson and Ina Olonade, I hope I pronounced your name properly, for playing the piano and joining this service. Before I get to the announcements and the Shabbat sponsors, I want to say what a wonderful occasion it is for me to be able to be here with you and be a part of this service, listening to your remarks, reading about your accomplishments in this booklet that everybody has and has had an opportunity to look at. It's so obvious that, as Rabbi said, the future of the Jewish people is secure, knowing that you're leading it. To hear what you had to say, Dara, about you want to have a voice, and it's so important to have that voice. Tess, you're obsessed with everything Jew-ish, okay? And I use that term Jew-ish, not like maybe somebody else who's been in the news has used it, but to say that there are so many ways that you can express your Judaism. And every single way that you express your Judaism is so important. And so I appreciate those words. And encourage you to express your Judaism proudly as you go through life. And Ryan, serving as a role model as you have been, and reading about your accomplishments in this in the booklet, knowing what you do at Temple, you all have such wonderful, bright futures ahead of you. And we look forward to sharing in those simchas, those futures, those wonderful moments in your lives as you mature even more. This is just one more step in a huge accomplishment for all of you, and we look forward to all the successes that you will continue to bring, not only to your community, but to the world. And so thank you for all of that. I would like to thank our Shabbat sponsors, the Mansfield family, the Lefman family, and the Miner family, in honor of Tess, Dara, and Ryan. Violet, Piper, and Katerina in memory of Michael Showery's birthday. In honor, sorry.
It's right here.
One of these days I'll get it right, and so I only have like 3 other services left. So Nina Alvin Martinez in memory of John Martinez. Louis and Cindy Cohen in memory of Doris Eisenberg. Roberto and Rosa Asayel in memory of Rachel Raskob. Scott and Bonnie Stevens in memory of Nanette Esther Leeser. Wilfred Bill Lakehomer, and Helen Etta Leeser Raphael. Debbie and Mike Robelin in memory of Bernard Lauterbach. Wendy Axelrod in memory of Neil Axelrod. Alan and Lori Gaiman in memory of Norman Friedberg. And Jan Wolf and Chet Frame in memory of Arnold Hoffman. Memorial Day will be observed this Sunday, May 28th at 9 a.m. We want to especially thank the Jewish war veterans who will be at Temple Mount Sinai and the B'nai Zion cemeteries, honoring our veterans with flags on their graves. They do this every year for us, and we're so appreciative of all you do, Scott, to bring your group there to honor those who have served their country and are now resting in peace at our cemetery.
Anybody who would like to participate, you're more than welcome to come out and plant flags with us.
Sunday, 9 a.m. Thank you. Save the date for a legacy giving presentation via Zoom on Wednesday, May 31st at 5:30. Learn more about ways that you can assist the temple in its capital campaign efforts. Save the date for Religious School Carnival, Sunday, June 4th, coming up at 10 a.m. So many wonderful things going on. There's food still that is available from the Jewish Food Festival that has been frozen. It's in great shape. I brought my order home today, and if you're interested in that, there's more information on the email from Temple, and a very, very simple way of ordering it with either your credit card or your bank account right there online. Wish everyone a wonderful Shabbat.
And we have a gift and a certificate for each of you
Yes.
that you'll receive.
I have gifts for you. Or somebody has gifts for you.
Go help.
Thank you.
We hope that
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
we hope that the contents will go with you and bring you meaning and will help you as you go your way from El Paso to wherever your journey takes you, out and around, and then back to El Paso, of course. And that as you do, whatever you need to schlep, we hope you'll take the bag with you as well to help schlep. Tess and Dara, I have a special extra gift for you because I know it's been the source of contention. Your Misty co-president badges. And certificates.
And your certificates. Thank you.
Because nothing important happens without a certificate. We'll conclude in song, in celebration, in honor, in celebration of our confirmands, and celebration and in honor of our community and this gathering. On page 344, I invite our students to come and stand front and center on the bima. You can leave those things here. We'll come back for them. As we all stand together and join together in song in celebration of them.